Today I am going to show you how to make the Weekender crochet bag. This is a perfect bag to take to the beach or to use as a project bag or even as a large purse. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how the bag is made. So the bag is worked in the round from the bottom all the way up to the top. And the chain 2 at the beginning of each round does not count as a stitch. And at the end of each round, you will slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, not the chain 2. So for the materials for making the bag, you will need a 9mm crochet hook, a 6.5mm crochet hook, 6 skeins of Lion brand rewind tape yarn, a yarn needle for weaving in your loose ends, a stitch marker, a measuring tape or ruler, and scissors. And if you decide to make the leather tassel, you'll just need a sheet of leather, and I have included a link to what I used in the pattern, and you will also need scissors and a hot glue gun, and this is super easy to make. And instructions for the tassel are included in the written pattern only. So let's get started. You will want to start with 2 skeins of yarn, and you will pull 1 strand from each skein. So let's attach the two strands of yarn to our hook. And we are ready to begin round 1. So we are going to start with a chain 26. Should look like this. Okay, and we are now going to work down the chain. So we will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the 3rd chain from our hook, and then a herringbone half double crochet in each chain until 1 stitch remains. And we will place 4 herringbone half double crochet in that last chain, and then we will work along the other side of the chain, placing 1 herringbone half double crochet in each stitch and two in the last stitch. Okay, so to make the herringbone half double crochet, we're going to be working into the 3rd chain from our hook. So there's 1, 2, and 3. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through your work, and 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to place a stitch marker in the top of this stitch, so we will know where to join at the end of the round. Okay, we're going to place another herringbone half double crochet in the same stitch, so we'll have 2 in this first stitch. So let me slow down here. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through your work, and 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so now I will place a herringbone half double crochet in the next chain and all the way down until 1 chain remains. So that will be a total of 22 herringbone half double crochet, and then I'll do 4 in the last chain. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through your work, and 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And technically I have double the number of loops that I'm saying on my hook because we're using a double strand of yarn, but the 2 strands really just look like 1 strand when you start working. So I'm going to keep going all the way down until we get to the end of this row. Then I will work the 4 herringbone half double crochet in the last chain. Okay, so I am down to the end and I have 1 chain left. So I am going to place 4 herringbone half double crochet in this last chain. So there's 1. Sorry, my stitch marker is hitting my table. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see when I made those 4 herringbone half double crochet, I'm now in a position where I don't have to turn or anything. I just go straight down the row here. So we are going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet on the other side of the chain now, all the way down until we reach the last chain, and we will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in that chain, and then we will join to the mark stitch or the slip stitch. Okay, so you will have a total of 22 herringbone half double crochet before you make your 2 last herringbone half. Okay, so I am coming to the last chain. We're going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in that last stitch. We are going to remove our stitch marker and we are going to join to the top of this mark stitch with a slip stitch. This is what the piece should look like at the end of round 1. In round 2, we will begin with a chain 2, and we will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch and also the next stitch. Then you will place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches. Then you're going to repeat what I have in the brackets a total of 4 times. So you'll do 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch. Then you'll work back down the other side, placing 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches, sorry. Then when you get to the end and you have 2 stitches left, you will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches, and then you will join to the top of your first stitch with a slip stitch. So let me show you how to do it. So we begin with the chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, 2 half double crochet or herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch. So that's this stitch right here at the base of the chain. Okay, we're going to place a stitch marker in that first stitch. Okay, we're going to place another herringbone half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch. So there's 1 and 2. So we've made a total of 4 herringbone half double crochet. So now we're just going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches. So I will keep going with that. Okay, so I'm down to the end, so I'm going to make sure I did a total of 22. So I place 2 in the first stitch, 2 in the next stitch, 20, 21, 22. So now you will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, and you will do that 4 times. So there's my first 2. My second 2. My third 2, and then I've got 2 more in this next stitch. Okay, now we are ready to work back down the other side. So I did a total of 4 of the 2 herringbone half double crochet and 4 stitches. So I did, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm going to just place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches. I am going to keep going with this, and I will be back after I finish the 22 herringbone half double crochet. I think that's 22, but I kind of lost count, so I'm going to double check. So these were the last pair of 2 herringbone half double crochet that I made. Now I'm just going to count and make sure I have 22 herringbone half double crochet. 20, 21, 22, perfect. Okay, so now we are going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the last 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2. Okay, and we are ready to join to the top of that first stitch, which is right here. So remove your stitch marker and make a slip stitch in that stitch to join. Okay, so it should look like this. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. I forgot to mention, at the end of round 2, you should have a total of 60 stitches. So we are moving on to round 3. And again, we will begin with a chain 2. So we are going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch and in each of the next 3 stitches. So 2 herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch. Let's place a stitch marker in that stitch. So there's 1, 2, 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch. Let me move my camera down a little bit. Okay, so we've done a total of 4 and we need 8. So 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch. And 2 more in the next stitch. Okay, and we are going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches. I am going to finish working down this side, and I will show you where to place the stitches when we get to the other end. Okay, so I am going to count and make sure I have 22. So there's my last 2 herringbone half double crochet in that stitch. So then I'm going to count 22 herringbone half double crochet. Okay, 22, there we go. So now we are going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to do that a total of 8 times for a total of 16 stitches. Okay, 2 more in the next stitch. And 2 more in the next stitch. 2 more in the next stitch. Let me count. I'm losing track. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 2 more in the next stitch. So that's 13, 14, and I need 2 more. So 15 and 16. Okay, so that end should look like this. So I placed 2 herringbone half double crochet in 8 stitches for a total of 16. So now I'm just going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches, just like we did on this side. I am going to keep going, and I will be back to show you how to finish the end of the round. So now we are going to place 2 half double crochet, or 2 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to slip stitch in the top of our first stitch. I'm on my last stitch, so 2 herringbone half double crochet in the last stitch, and then we are going to join with a slip stitch in the top of our first stitch. So it should look like this so far. At the end of round 3, you should have a total of 76 stitches, and round 4 will be our last round that we are increasing. After that, we won't be adding any more stitches, and our stitch count will remain the same at 84. So let's get started. So in round 4, we'll begin with a chain 2 again. We will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch and then the next stitch. Then we will place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 34 stitches, and then 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, and you will repeat that sequence in the brackets a total of 4 times. So that will give you 8 stitches here total down at the end, where you're working the 2 herringbone half double crochet into the next stitch. I hope that makes sense. And then you're going to work back down the other side, placing 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 34 stitches. And then when you get back to the end, you will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, and then the next stitch for four more stitches. And then you will join to the top of your first stitch with a slip stitch. So I'm going to keep going. So chain 2, 2 herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch, place a stitch marker in that stitch. So there's 1 and 2, and then 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, then we are going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 34 stitches. That's 34, but I'm going to double check. After you finish the 34 herringbone half double crochet, you will place 2 herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. We're going to place a herringbone half double crochet in each of the next 34 stitches. There's 34. So I'm going to place 2 herringbone half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 2. Okay, now I'm going to remove my stitch marker and slip stitch in the top of the first stitch to join. So the end of round 4 should look like this, and you should have a total of 84 stitches around. And we are now going to start alternating where we place our first stitch. So we're gonna, at the end of round 4, you want to place a stitch marker in that joining slip stitch that we made. And this is a slip stitch that we made at the end of round 4 when we join to the top of our first stitch. So just place a stitch marker in that stitch. And we're doing this to avoid an ugly seam running across the back of the bag. So we're just going to alternate where we place our first stitch. So in this round we chain 2. We're going to skip over that first stitch and place a herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch. And then we're just going to place 1 herringbone half double crochet in each stitch around, and you will place your last herringbone half double crochet in the slip stitch that you marked with the stitch marker. Then you will just join to the top of your first stitch with a slip stitch. So skip over the first stitch and place a herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch and in each stitch around. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this, and I will be back to show you where to place the last stitch. I am coming to the end of round 5. And I'm going to show you where to place the last stitch. Okay, so we're just going to place the last stitch in this slip stitch that we marked. So remove the stitch marker. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch in the top of our first stitch, which is this herringbone half double crochet right here. Okay, we are ready to move on to round 6. So it should look like this. And now that we're done increasing, like the sides of our bag should start to curl up after a few more rounds. In round 6, you will begin with a chain 2. And you will place your first herringbone half double crochet in the first stitch, which is just that stitch at the base of your chain 2. And then you're just going to place a herringbone half double crochet in each stitch around. Just slip stitch in the top of your first stitch to join, and then place a stitch marker in that slip stitch after you join. And then you will just be repeating, so for rounds 7 through 10, you will just be repeating rounds 5 and 6. And at the end of round 10, you don't need to put a stitch marker in the slip stitch at the end of the round. So I'm going to keep going with my bag, and I will be back to show you how to make round 11. I just finished round 10, and this is what the piece should look like so far. Now that we are done increasing, you can really start to see the sides of the bag. So I am going to show you how to complete round 11. Let me move my camera down. So in round 11, you are going to begin with a chain 2. And in this round, all we're doing is crisscrossing double crochet stitches. So you're going to skip your first stitch at the base of your chain 2. You're going to place a double crochet in the next stitch, then you're just going to come back over and place a double crochet in the stitch that you skipped. So skip the first stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, then we go in front of our work and place a double crochet in the skip stitch. And we are just going to keep repeating this all the way around. So skip the next stitch and place a double crochet in the next stitch. And come back and place a double crochet in the stitch that you skipped. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the skip stitch, and if you have trouble seeing where to place that second double crochet, when you skip the next stitch, place a stitch marker in that stitch, and then you know where to place the second double crochet. So skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the skip stitch, It should look like this so far. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the skip stitch. Okay, I am going to keep going, and I will be back to show you how to complete round 12.